Hey everybody. Hello YouTube. Hey, this is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. It's about like 4:30 p.m. on Saturday, February 13th, 2021. Um, I hope everybody's hanging in there. I know this targeting is beyond rough. It's been really rough for me lately. Um, and I've just been kind of hunkering down and trying to heal as much as I can and get through, what I can't heal and find some more solutions. Um, I just hope you guys are doing well. I just kind of wanted to do an update because I got to go back to my aunt's in a couple of minutes to hang out with my grandma. She's like, she's not doing like she's in hospice, so a doctor can't like help her anymore. The nurses kind of come in and make the decisions, but it's like she's not healing up, but it's like she has really strong genetics. So I mean, I think she's gonna be hanging in there for a long time, without being able to like walk and always in pain and stuff. And she'll only like take Tylenol. She'll take like another kind of pain medicine if it gets real bad, but it's like always really bad. So I'm just going over there and being with her as much as possible, and then just life's gonna take its course, right? I do worry sometimes, because I'm targeted. I don't know who in my family's targeted. I'm pretty much 100% sure on my dad, but then other people, it's like weird stuff happens and I question it. And with my grandma, it's like she'll have her oxygen out for like 2 days or something because my other family members forget to put it back in, and so I'll remind them to put it back on. I'll help them get it back on her, and then she'll start feeling a little bit better. And she took a Tylenol too. She took a Tylenol also, and like my nanny will be like, "Oh, well, is the oxygen making you feel better?" And she's like, "No, it was definitely the Tylenol." So like I always do this stuff where I'll kind of help out, but then my grandma wants to make sure that whatever I suggested, it wasn't that helped. It's weird. I don't know. It could just be my grandma. She's kind of always like that. Sometimes she's really lovey on me, and then sometimes she's just mad at me for some reason. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I've been trying to get over there as much as possible and help, but then I'm dealing with the targeting also. Um, it's really rough. The remote neural manipulation is just it's so bad, and I fended off with the defenses. We're gonna find some more stuff, um, but yeah, I've just been dealing with that, guys. Trying to kind of figure out how to push forward. Um, I'll definitely still be doing more stuff on the channel, but with everything going on, it's just like, I gotta kind of just heal up as much as I can, be with my family as much as possible, and I know you guys understand. I think tomorrow, I've got to go over there. We've got to go to my grandma's house and wrap her pipes, and then, I'm not sure what else, but I'll probably hang around there for some of the day tomorrow. And then I was thinking we could do a live stream on Roman Atwood, because Roman Atwood has, if some of you guys don't know, he's a huge YouTuber and he vlogs with his family. He has like 15 million subscribers on his vlog channel. And he was talking about like all these symptoms that you would get with the remote neural manipulation and weapons attacks, but didn't say anything about getting hit by weapons, but then was talking about stalking that sounds a lot like gang stalking, sounded a lot like stalking, and really satanic stalking from like InfraGard, DHS fusion centers. So we're going to go through some of his videos and just kind of talk about it. But I think that's a big problem. I think we do have some really big celebrities and stuff being targeted, and also some bigger channels that maybe they're not celebrities or whatever, but they'll always kind of put it in that lane of I'm being stalked and this is weird and it's just stalking. It's really extreme stalking, but never say gang stalking, never say it's like an organized program. And then definitely don't talk about the weapons because they know that people will just be like, oh, you're nuts, ray beams and tinfoil hat wearing and stuff like that. So that's a big problem. I didn't like, I mean, I know that this is hard for people to talk about. Even some of the, like, even me, like, some of the stuff gets so dark. And I'm like, man, we need morale. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to the really dark stuff. I kind of want to make sure that I put myself together, and we can get motivated, and we can fight through this, and we can survive. It's a balance, right? It's a balance between saying what's really, really happening, and then moving on. We can do this. We can get through this, right? The stuff going on in the world is just so apocalyptic that it's hard to focus on, like, okay, how do we beat this, right? Um, yeah, I know all of us that are targeted. Well, at least me. My main thing is, like, we've got to stop this targeting, and with all the new consumer products and new medical products coming out, this can't last. I kind of had it. This is the kind of stuff where I don't want to go there. I was having this thought, and it wasn't my attackers or anything, and I'm just like, well, they want to make all these consumer products like this, the new VR video game thing that can read your neurological activity, and then you can use your neurological activity to play the video game. They're going to want back doors to consumer products like that so that they can affect the brain while the consumer thinks that they're controlling stuff with their neurological activity. They're going to want to be mapping that and maybe manipulating it back. And I was like, well, they wouldn't want people to know that they had that capacity to do that. So what does that mean for us? And I'm not going to go there. Like, I still have a lot of hope that this can just change and this can come out. But I've had some worries about, like, well, what are they planning with this? Because it seems like a lot of medical stuff, a lot of consumer stuff, that the system, the military-industrial complex, like corporations, the military, and globalists, like, kind of at the top of this, are going to want to have all these products, wireless headphones, Neuralace is coming out, the neuro, so many things, so many different things that they're going to want to backdoor to, and I'm like, we've got to make sure that this comes out and that people know, so that can't happen, right? It's such a big system. We've just got to do as much as we can do. Um, what else? I'm having trouble. I'm having really, really big problems with my memory. It's pretty scary. Like almost like Alzheimer's. It feels like Alzheimer's. Where it's like I will completely forget. Like, I'll take some kratom and I'll completely forgot if I took kratom for the day. Things like that, where it's just like I, like, seriously can't remember. So it's tough, guys. I want to be open. I want to be open with y'all about how hard it is to be targeted, and do, like, long live streams and getting attacked the entire time, V2K the entire time, memory dissolution the entire time, external hits to the head the entire time, and them hitting me in the jaw and stuff like that. It gets to be like, it was a thing when I started doing live streams off of just doing videos. I was like, oh, I gotta adrenalize up and push through this. But then after so many years, it's like, I'm out of gas. Oh, now I'm out of fumes. Now what do I run on, right? And we're doing these, I'm doing these long live streams. I've chosen to, because I like other targeted individuals being able to participate and stuff like that. It just makes it more interactive. It makes it so when non-TIs see our live streams, they see a lot of people in Unity who are targeted speaking about this. But it gets to a point where it's like, it's not just making a little YouTube, it's a battle, like every one of them. And then after I finish that live stream, if it was really good and I'm like, oh, that was great, I'm doing something productive, to try and stop this, to try and help people, then my attackers will attack me really bad afterwards. And then there's a lot of other stuff, right? There's a lot of other stuff with targeted individuals speaking out, like people in our group and stuff like that. Who's who? I'll just say it that way. Who's who? What the hell's going on? On top of all the targeting, gang stalking, then trying to, so I don't want to complain about that stuff, but I just want you guys to understand. Sometimes I have to figure out, how can I do this? How can I keep putting out good information and still be able to do it and move forward, right, without my attackers hurt me. What's the optimal? What's the optimal? What's the optimal amount of like information and projects I can work on while my attackers like not destroying me completely so I can't do anything, right? I hate saying that. I really hate saying that stuff because we all need to speak out, right? Like, I don't want to deter anybody or be like, man, if you speak, because it's been a long time for me, right? And my attackers did some really weird stuff with the nerves, like, kind of going from my teeth, up into my jaw and stuff like that, healing up really good. Like, all this is like healing up and everything, and I can think clear. The remote neural manipulation isn't as solid when it hits. It's like I can see it. It's not as mixed up because I like had lost focus, was having a huge headaches, and then it was kind of like sleep deprivation times 10, and the remote neural manipulation was way worse, right? So I'm still kind of like I'm shaking it off, figuring out how we can move forward projects like, and we'll talk about those more. I just wanted to update y'all, let y'all know like I'm okay, but I'm dealing with like family stuff and just like the remote neural manipulation is so bad it changes my motivation, the organization, my thought, and then it's like, oh man, I love you guys and I love going on live streams, but it's like, man, they're gonna attack me and I'm gonna, they're gonna be messing with my memory, and I know that targeted individuals understand that, but I'm like, man, it's sometimes it's just like it's just too much, right? It's just too much, and I've got to find a way to balance it. We all do. We all do. I want to also mention, guys, for my moderators, please, if you have a problem with somebody like off of my live streams, like it's something that person didn't do, they were behaving on my live stream, but maybe y'all got into a misunderstanding on another live stream, please don't ban them. Rose, I'm going to try and reinstate you. I don't know how. I don't know how to like get somebody back on, but Rose, if you can just use another avatar for the time being, and then moderators, if y'all have problems off my live stream with somebody, but they're behaving on my live stream, you can't just ban them, right? So I just want to kind of make that clear, because Rose has always been really good, but I know that somehow she got banned, and I wasn't paying attention. But Rose, if you can just use a different, not avatar, but a different YouTube name or whatever, or different YouTube account to come on, I'd appreciate that until I can figure out a way to get that other account reinstated. I've never had to do that. That gets really annoying, guys. And I'm not picking on anyone, because I know that there's a lot of mistrust in the community, and like things happen, and somebody's like, well, that person can't be for real. I know there's those problems, but it gets it's like I just want to put out information, and then we're dealing with a lot of that stuff instead, right? Which is just, I mean, it's just what's going to happen. It's just what's going to happen, because everybody has a lot of different ideas about what's going on. A lot of people have different ideas about how to move forward. A lot of people are just like, everybody has different ways of doing things. I love you guys. I can't really think right now if there was anything else, but I just wanted to do an update and say, like, tomorrow I'm going to do a live stream on the Roman Atwood vids. I'll pull up like 2 or 3 vids of his, and we'll just see what he says, because the things that he was saying that were physically wrong with him, I was like, man, that sounds a lot like remote neural manipulation. And then they talked about the stalking. So we're getting a lot of these really huge subscriber accounts and stuff like that being targeted, but the way that it's being controlled is that people don't want to talk about the weapons, right? They don't want to be involved with targeted individuals, right? Because there's already a stigma on targeted individuals, on us. So people are experiencing this everywhere. Like, and I even, this may be going too far for some of you guys, but they've got a global grid using satellites, the ionosphere, over the horizon radar, microwave towers, drones, Gwyn towers, and everything like that, and many more to make up this infrastructure. But we see people more stressed out and everything from the pandemic, from the election fraud, from things that are going on, right? From the crazy things that are going on in our world that are asymmetrical warfare against the population by a global oligarchy trickled down, right? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. The thing that I think is happening is that there are, how I talk about wideband mind control, like say a city or a county, and they just take from over the horizon radar, or in a couple of microwave towers, they can just make a huge frequency, right? A huge, not just one beam, but like a huge just spread over an area, and it could bring people's resonance down, right? So they'd be more depressed, more anxious, more agitated, want to fight each other more, and things like that. How big is this scale that they can do that on? And we don't, I don't have that top secret information, but I'm sure that they're doing that to large swaths of the population. Could This is a question, right? Not that stuff I just said, but this is a question. Could they affect the resonance of every human being on the earth, right? And I think we know the answer is yes. If they have a global infrastructure and then can sort of control, what's coming down from the ionosphere. Like, are they doing that? Probably not. But are they almost to a point where they can bring down the resonance of the entire human population or selected areas of the human population? That's a serious question that I'm asking. I'm not just throwing out some theory because, I mean, they've got this, and this, it's not something that I'm like, oh man, I know everything. Directed energy weapons, electromagnetic frequencies, how they're being used on the brain, in populations, and in war, and for weather manipulation, and to start fires, and for, changing humanity. I mean, controlling humanity in AI, just all these things. It has to be more of a conversation, not about like, oh, look at these cool toys. Oh, look at Neuralink coming out. Look at these, VR neurological activity readers that you can play video games with. Oh, that's so cool. People need to. I mean, I don't see how people aren't saying, where did this come from? Do they really think that somebody just without experimenting on human brains just came up with a VR device where you can control your video game with your brain? They don't think that any human beings do they think that people volunteered for that? Because people didn't. People may have volunteered for that video game thing, but a lot of that technology came from years and years of involuntary torture and experimentation. This is a huge issue. I don't sometimes, like, guys, like, and I'm just trying to be open. It becomes hard because this all gets so confusing. And then it's like, oh man, if I say this, like if I say this that happened to me, that I'm not even sure what the hell was going on. People are like, half of the people are gonna be like, no way, Kyle, you're nutball, like you're targeted, so it's messed you up. And then half the people will be like, yeah, right on, I've experienced that too. So it's like, I don't know, it gets so convoluted sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna tell the truth, guys, right? Because I do tell the truth, but I remember at the beginning it was just like, this is happening. I'm precocious. I can talk about it. Things get so complicated, especially things like, oh my God, when I get up and speak about this, it's very dangerous. It hurts a lot. And then not even the physical or remote neural manipulation pain. It's, and I'm trying not to be like egotistical. Oh, I'm doing all this work and it blah blah blah. But then there's even stuff where there's just a lot of shenanigans and things like that, that put so much weight on it all and put so much confusion. And then it's just not even fighting my attackers and the gang stalking. It's like, what's out there, right? What kind of programs they got out there? And there are people, man. There are people in the world that they don't care. Like, they don't care. Whatever authority's doing, even if they're experimenting on people, they'll find some justification in their head. They'll be like, well, these people deserve it, or this technology needs to be created, and as long as I'm not being sacrificed, it's okay if they're sacrificing these people, right? It's okay if they're sacrificing me and my family and you guys that are targeted. I don't like. I know that that stuff exists. I agree with Brian too that cyber-placed agents. I'm just like, how much of it, and it, is it growing? Are people like, what are these people? I guess we can't. That's where we get caught up. What are these people thinking? Because it's just a total disrespect for human life and themselves, right? It's like it's a kind of a murder suicide for the gang stalkers, for the microwavers. It's hard to understand that type of not even logic, not definitely not human feelings and compassion and empathy and faith-based feelings that are coming from God. Okay, well, I've rambled on a little bit. I just wanted to do an update. I am going to be doing more stuff. I've been just really trying to get my mind right. It's hard because this stuff goes on and on. I have to say, okay, I'm going to get an ionic foot bath. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to have to save up for this month, and get the ionic foot bath because I think the more heavy metals and things, that's something we know that if we drag that out of our body, it can help a lot. I do want to say, I just want to mention it again because some people, maybe you're new to the channel. For targeted individuals, you're getting the high-pitched ringing in your ears. You're getting a lot of nervous system manipulation, like burning and kind of squeezing and just tiring out your nervous system. And then the remote neural manipulation. Dave Case's CD is still like the linchpin of what holds it back, right? Holds things at bay. But then I've got this certain percentage that's getting through to my mind and getting through my body. And over many years, it's like, oh my God, it's way past, like I've been tortured so much and I'm tired. It's like, how am I even still going? I wanted to mention this. I was thinking about this, and this was either a thought from God directly, just pushing it up through a spiritual way, or just something from me. It wasn't my attackers or anything like that. But I was thinking about the fishes and the loaves, because like I was saying, like sometimes it is like I felt like I was out of gas and then out of fumes, but I'd still keep going, and there'd be replenishment in these ways that I feel that if it was just physical, if it was just organic, it couldn't have happened. Like there was this fish and loaves, this spiritual multiplication when you're attached to God, and He can bubble up through past like frequency and energy, these things that our science is kind of, that's where we're at. But obviously God is the God above all everything that is known, and He can like do this fish and loaves miracle of energy, right? Sometimes it's just like, oh my God, I can't do anything, like my brain won't work. And then right now I'm playing Assassin's Creed Unity. I've been playing all the Assassin's Creed games and then just going and doing family stuff. And then when I do that, it's like playing video games. I meditate because I have the V2K. I can't just remain quiet and meditate. It just doesn't work. And so I'll play video games, and then it kind of gives me that to combat the V2K, right, and some of the stuff. And then I have this space in between where I can meditate and think about projects like to move us forward. Man, we got to keep going with this. God, it's so important. The misuse of this technology, and I was just thinking, I was like, mental illness, we know as targeted individuals now that we know that mental illness is a physical illness. Like for us, we get mental injury, right? The remote neural manipulation, the external hits, trauma, it makes us look mentally ill. It hurts the brain. It hurts the way the brain functions. But we know that even it's like somebody with a natural mental illness, they could use this technology and it could change the way that the chemicals in the brain function. That physical ailment of the brain could be fixed. We understand more now, and I hope you guys understand this. Maybe some of you do, and some of you are maybe just hearing me now. But mental illness, like these organic mental illnesses that are out in society, could be fixed without medication or even supplements with electromagnetic. The brain is an electromagnetic organ, and electromagnetic frequencies can affect the way that chemicals work in the brain, or transported, or I don't know how to say that, but the way that the brain, um, that chemicals run through the brain, right? It can affect that, and then the way that your chemicals work in your brain can affect the electromagnetic energy of your brain and your nervous system. So we're this is one thing that we try and do, right? Or I try and do is find the silver lining. How do you find the silver lining? I've been saying this since the beginning, like since I started making videos in like 2013 or 2014. It's like, how do you find a silver lining? But we've learned a lot. Like we've learned way more about, like, um, our bioresonance, that energy and resonance are so important to a human being, right? We've learned how important the pineal gland is to human beings. We've learned things, and we're further along than the normal public on understanding. And then if it, on understanding these organic things that are seen as like a person maybe making a decision to be that way, but the brain is a tricky organ that, I really see it now. After being targeted for so long, I see mental illness as physical illness now. That's the mental illness of a person. I'm not saying that targeted individuals are mentally ill, right? We're mentally injured, but this has taught us a lot about, like, if an organic mental illness can be fixed by a neuro weapons, right? But it wouldn't be it'd be neurotechnology, it'd be neuromedical technology, right? The dual use neuromedical technology can be used also as neuro weapons. But it's like, if you had somebody with organic, I know the schizophrenia one we kind of argue about, is that real? I do think there's organic schizophrenia, but let's take another one. Let's just take like organic depression. You could have a therapeutic field of electromagnetic energy around the head, bidirectional stream of energy to condition the brain to produce more serotonin, right? And that physical injury to the brain, that the brain not working right, could be fixed long term, right? With certain therapeutic uses of this stuff. I've said this on some of my earlier videos, and my head was clear about how many good things could be done with this technology, and I was a lot sadder about it, right? And then it's like, now I've been through so many years, I'm just like, my head's ripped up, and I just want this to stop, especially for, I'm not saying anything, you guys that are targeted individuals and going through this, I want this to stop for you. But talking to so many women going through this, and we've got to stop. We've got to do anything that we can. And I care about all you guys that are going through this. I care about all you guys who aren't going through this, because this is going to be scaled up for the entire population, right? How do we yeah, okay, well, how do we bridge this gap of people, this being in everybody's lives, these technologies, and then stuff for the public being scaled up, while this is out in the open, right? Cuban embassy attack, China consulate, everything. A bunch of senators know about this stuff. A bunch of the DOJ, knows that they're using it. And how do we bridge this gap to the public, which we ask all the time, right? But I'm still working on stuff, still thinking, guys. I'm healing from stuff that could heal, which is a miracle. But then the targeting's still bad, and just does a real number to my brain. I'm pretty sure that a lot of the stuff that it's like real bad, it feels like Alzheimer's. If the automated remote neural manipulation was taken off of my brain, I could heal up. My memory would be better and stuff like that. And like I say, there's automated systems, there's AI, and then I have human operators, and they'll do something with the remote neural manipulation that's like, every time the V2K says this phrase, I get this feeling or something. Just a small example, but they're doing that stuff every second. They're doing something. The automated system or the human operators are doing something to my brain, some kind of triggering thing all the time. I don't know how this is happening in society, and it sure as hell better not be. You know, we better make sure that it's not covered up. That's a worry. That's what I'm saying is like they're going to want to make all these consumer products and medical products, and they're going to want to backdoor into people's brains, and it makes me worry that it's like even if people the election fraud, even if everybody knows, the mainstream media and the powers that be will just be like, no, and then they'll make articles later saying how they did it, right? Like the Time article, where they're like, hey, there was a vast conspiracy to basically change the election. Here we go, we just said it, and nobody can do anything about it, right? It's beyond frustrating, beyond traumatizing, and that's the name of the game right now for all of humanity. Is this the top of the pyramid is just trying to traumatize everybody. They're traumatizing the people that work for them, because these people that microwave me, they have to be traumatized from sitting there and doing this all the time. I mean, I know they're pure psychopaths, but I guess trauma for a psychopath is just becoming more psychopathic or something like that. You know, I don't know. But I hope you guys are hanging in there. Pepper says, hey, Pepper. I just dropped something. I love y'all. I just wanted to do an update. Pepper. Her joints are really bad. And she has this thing like on her arms or on her elbows and like I guess not really her legs, but her elbows. It's like pussing, and I think it's some. I'm gonna have to bring her to the vet. I think it's some kind of arthritis. And they literally do. This sounds nuts, right? Why am I still saying that? Like it's even worse now. Like the whole normalization thing, and oh, I need to make sure this doesn't sound too crazy. It's like I'm getting worse because it's going on for so long, and I'm getting this reaction from my family, right? Like they don't even respect anything I say anymore, except my mom, my dad, but it's like, and my grandma sometimes, and my aunt sometimes, but they still have this double-mindedness, like he's mentally ill, so anything he says, they put it into that. That's one of the worst things about this targeting, that when you're not mentally ill, right, and you're saying useful things, and people are just like, they take that, oh, that stigma of what was put on you, what's being done to us, to judge, like, to judge the value of what you're saying, what you're bringing to the table. I've dealt with that a lot from a lot of different places, like a lot of different people, and it's you know, I sit there and I'm like, I can't be conditioned into this. I can't do this too long where I'm disrespected and stuff like that for what I've really gone through. I got to figure out a way, you know, to be around people that respect me, you know. And I'm going to stay around my family, and see that this is the deal, right? Most people that I deal with, like targeted individuals, they're really good and they're really understanding. But then I just kind of come along with a person that I have misunderstandings with about what's going on with both of us or whatever, and that's kind of it's like, oh my God, that's what depression does. Is you focus on those like negative things, right? But there's way more positive. There's way more people that are understanding in my life, you know, in doing this. So that's one of my challenges, or you know, I don't know what you call it, but like really trying to focus in on the positive more. People that support me, and then I support them, and then you know, fights or misunderstandings. Okay, that's a one-off or whatever. It's tough. Like I mean, all the stuff that I talk about in my videos, I'm working at obviously, because the targeting just rips us apart. You know. So what else? How long is this? So I just wanted to give you all a little update. So tomorrow I'm going to come on and do a live stream, 30 minutes. Okay. I hope everybody's just doing great. I've got a lot of information, but I'm going to try and kind of figure out how to do it, guys. I might start, and I've been talking about this for a while, but I'm like focusing on family stuff right now. So I'm thinking about what I want to do. And, you know, with how long the targeting's been going on for me, I think it would be better. I still want to get information out, but and we'll talk about this. We'll see. I'm not going to stop doing live streams. I was thinking about, and I've talked about this, just doing more short videos, getting more organized with that, getting good at putting that information out, focusing on that, and then we do live streams supplementally, you know, to hang out and go through something like this. This um, Roman Atwood video is going to be perfect for a live stream, right? So I'll take information that would maybe be better for a short video and do that. Anyway, I don't need to go through all that, but I'm just my point is I'm just thinking about like I can't just be like, well, this is the stuff that I want to do and I'm going to go ahead and do it because that if I wasn't targeted that would work, and if I wasn't being punished for the information that I'm putting out, or just they just don't, it's not even the information, right? I put out great information on this channel. We all do. People give me great information to put out, other targeted individuals. But I think for my attackers, it's about they don't want me to build up momentum. So I've got to figure out a way to balance how badly they hurt me when I do stuff and keeping going with it, and also you know, important stuff off of YouTube, right? Balancing things is tough, you know, and with the way things are, I don't know. Okay, we won't go into that, but the way things are, it's just like, you know, it's, you know, what's the biggest priority? Y'all know what that is for me. People have to know about this. It's involved with why people are reacting, why people are acting so insane everywhere, why these bizarre situations in a lot of places are happening. Not everybody in the world is targeted, probably in some way, yes, but I'm talking about like with a frequency spread or a frequency beam to the head, you know, but a lot of these really bizarre situations have to do with this technology, and it's a out of sight, out of mind, you know, and it's like this technology. I have a feeling that it was involved with Jeff's death. I have a feeling it's involved with Roman Atwood's situation, but it's just kind of like people are just like, nope, no, that could have been this, could have been that, and they're looking for everything else. This has to become, you know, a topic that everybody's talking about, but it's the fear, right? And I'm not talking about targeted individuals being scared to talk about. I'm talking about like the rest of the public being very scared, and they only want to talk about this in a positive way, the transhumanism that's coming out of it, and they don't want to talk about the price that innocent people are paying involuntarily, their lives, their whole destinies. And it matters. It matters. If the human race wants to go on with any type of high frequency, good, connected to something that's high frequency evolution, our destiny is humanity, and that destiny can be a million different things. Our creation, right? But it's so important, right? And that's if when we follow God, right? It's creation and freedom is a part of this. Um, but it's so important because like with this technology, and if people just keep ignoring it and keep ignoring it, it'll be like, man, people won't even get to determine their thoughts from birth, and it really will be like that. And it sounds melodramatic, but they're getting there, you know. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. You know, I don't think there's so much chaos in the world. But we got to keep speaking about this. This is the most important thing. You know, if this could come out into the open that these technologies are being used on populations and individuals and in war and everything like that, then people could start questioning, like, man, I got really angry the other day and it wasn't contextually, it didn't feel like that was supposed to, that's not normally what I would do. People could start questioning this and start talking about these technologies that are being used so widespread. This is stuff we all know, right? This is stuff that's all we've talked about before. But I mainly just wanted to tell you guys, I hope y'all are just hanging in there, being strong. God bless you all. God give you strength. God give you strength. God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. God give you the supernatural that comes, that's beyond frequency resonance and energy, that can bubble up through our body, right? Through those things, and it'd be like the fish in the loaves. And I pray to God that He will give me some more energy and stuff like that to move on. You know, I got a lot of other stuff to deal with, and I'm just trying to, you know, survive mainly, right? We're trying to survive, but then, you know, we've got to do better because not a lot of non-target individuals are just jumping into this fight, you know, and that so I'll always say, I'm like, you know, focus on your defenses. There's stuff that can shave off percentages of pain, and it won't be 100%. But I've been saying that the entire time, guys. And I hope that, and I want to say it again, I hope the program and this torture and the gang stalking are really, are really the directed energy weapons torture. I hope all of it ends by tomorrow, right? But we cannot rely on that. You can't not use defenses and just be like, well, we just need this to stop, right? You got to get on it. You got to get on it and get as much percentage of relief so that you can do, so we can all do more to push this and have our miracle happen. The more that we do, the bigger the probability that we're going to have the miracle pull off where this changes for us. The more that we do, you know. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I know that the more that and even things like the UN and Niels Melzer, it's like, I know some people are like, well, no, blah blah, we shouldn't even deal with that. We don't trust the UN. We have got to go. We need something big to happen. So even if it may not come off like we want it to, we've got to go for those things and press as hard as we can. And then there's, in any of those big situations, right? So that maybe one of them, some big stuff will get out, right? And it will change things. I still, I got the email for OC, what is it, OCHR, for the Office of Special Rapporteur. I got the email address, but don't have the number to Niels Melzer's office. Can somebody email me and give that to me? I've been looking everywhere for it. If somebody has that, I just want to call his office. And I've got a couple other things that I'm thinking about and working on. One of them is like finding an honest neurologist, which is going to be the biggest challenge in human history, right? Especially with these programs, if somebody contacts them and says, shut your mouth about this stuff. But finding one of those, getting another DTI, and then even thinking about some further tests, that neurologist could see, and I need to see what's happened to my brain. I can't just have a neurologist saying, oh, well, everything looks good, because I've had a lot of concussive, like head pain for a long time, and then the targeting is pretty much concussive head pain too. All right, guys, I love y'all. I really love y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. I definitely wanted to come on and say I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow, so it'll force me to do it, right? Because I've been like, oh man, I just want to take a break and not even think about what we need to get out about this, right? Because it's such a weird, chaotic time, and I'm seeing like, where are openings on this? So these kind of technologies are just being used everywhere now. Yeah, if this should be out. It should be out, and people should understand that it's going on, because it's so scary, and it's being done by pretty much the most powerful industry, military industrial complex. People, even if they do know about it, they don't say anything about it. It's hidden, or they participate in it rather than like speak out about it, which it's like, that's totally inverted, where they're participating in the murders and the torture instead of actually just speaking out and saying, look, we got to stop this. And I would suppose we're going to, man, I need to do a video all about like InfraGard, DHS fusion centers, the Community Watch, all these different programs that they mesh together for gang stalking. And I was going to say, what was I going to say about that? Yeah, it's all compartmentalized, and I think they sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, so they can go to prison if they talk about it. But that, it's just so bad, right? We know this is just so bad. The stuff that's going on in the world, this is crime world, but it's like satanic clown crime world, and we just got to navigate it as best as possible. Bottom line on that is, we put out information, we try and figure out things, new defenses, what are the big things like that we can push along, that like Senator Jean Shaheen, we need to talk about her, and she was talking about a Senate Intelligence Committee on the Cuban Embassy attack, or some kind of Senate committee, right, with the people who got hit there. Maybe we need to be calling her. Maybe we need to be calling both Marco Rubio, and Tom Cotton. Right? I know that not a lot can get done, but we've got to be pushing in a lot of different areas, and a lot of other stuff too, a lot of legal stuff, um, a lot of legal stuff, a lot of activism stuff, a lot of um, you know, public awareness. I feel like the public's already aware of these certain kinds of technologies. They move towards the positive transhumanism. Oh, this is convenient and cool, and we can do stuff with our mind. But then they will not look at this, and this is also hidden way more. YouTube algorithms are pushing out all the transhumanism, and doesn't this rock? We'll be able to talk to each other with our brains and stuff. But what they're doing to get there, and then the evil things. It's not even like they experiment on people for many years, and then they come out with this cool technology that's convenient for people, and there's no danger in it, right? Just like, not just like, but we see with the internet, it was first used for military use. Then they gave it to people to use, and then they controlled it, right? They controlled it, and they found out how to get people's information and how to control information and everything like that. Well, the stuff with neuroweapons and neurotechnologies going to come out to the people. The people are going to be like, oh, this is so cool, this is so neat and convenient, and there's going to be back doors in, so it can be controlled by higher up in the pyramid, right? Higher up in the military-industrial complex and like the globalist pyramid. Okay, I guess that's it, guys. I love y'all. Just God bless and God give you grace and peace through the day. And I'll see y'all soon. Tomorrow, we're going to do a live stream on the Roman Atwood. So if you want to check out his channel, it's Roman Atwood Vlogs. We're just going to see what he says. And by what he says, he's getting remote neural manipulated. He's getting gang stalked. He talks about the stalking, but not as gang stalking as like, wow, this is really organized stalking. How did this happen? Right? So that's how people have to put it into that, oh, it's stalking, but the gang stalking doesn't exist. We can't talk about that, right? But we'll talk about that more. We'll talk about that more, tomorrow, guys. I love y'all. I just hope you're getting through this okay. Let's just keep going. Just really love y'all. God bless. There's awesome beauty and good in this world to keep fighting for. And my dad said, and I believe this too, and God puts it in my heart. There's a reason for everything. There's a meaning to life. There's a reason, especially for the bad stuff. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.